Hello everyone, you've just found my first video about League of Legends. My name is Jamie, a Bronze 3 North American player, and while my insight might not be the most experienced, I thought some insight from a low-level player that can relate to some of the questions you may have may prove to be useful. In today's video, and in videos going forward, I want to bring to you some of the information from the bottom of the barrel. Not everyone is a Diamond to Challenge level player. High-level players always have new information based on their high-ranked playing and experience, and I wanted to bring you something a little bit different. So without further ado, I present to you some insight from ELO Hell. First things first, I want to talk about meta. Not the current meta and how champions fit into it, but what the true definition of meta is, and try to clear the air for some of you who may be confused as to what it means and why the phrase "in the meta" is so commonly used when playing League of Legends. To start, the dictionary defines the word meta as an adjective which describes a term, especially in art, used to characterize something that is characteristically self-referential. So what does this mean for League of Legends? It doesn't really apply at all that deeply to the real idea of the game, if you ask me. Well, look at it this way. In League of Legends, you're guided by, but not pinned to the metagame, wherein the creators of the game, Riot, have not prescribed that every game be played within the same style. For example, a dual bottom lane is not necessarily the steadfast way in the eyes of the creators of the game, as they have given you free reign in the arena to move your character, decide when and how to use spells, and ultimately have control over your own gameplay and who you choose to play. However, with the evolution of the game comes certain, for lack of a better word, rules that dictate the pace and style of each game that have been developed by other players through experience, creating strategies that work best to achieve maximum gameplay success. This is loosely called metagaming. Through reading, I've discovered that the definition of the meta is essentially what everyone else is doing. In simpler terms, and related to the term meta itself, when you think of League of Legends, players with a little bit of knowledge of the game are automatically referencing the fact that in most games you're automatically thinking in terms of a top, middle, jungle, ADC, and support. Are you taking a bruiser or tank top lane to stave off your enemies from gaining too much of an advantage? Are you playing an ability power caster in the middle lane to grant easy access from your team anywhere on the map to ensure your success in winning the lane and eventually overpowering your opponents? All of these factors have been developed to form the most efficient compositions by the players over the course of time since the release of the game. Why, though, is it important to the way the game is played? Well, for starters, the idea of the team composition, though not set in stone, is typically a calculated, albeit sometimes ignored approach that we'll talk about later to what works best in the past and what will work best going forward. A team requires balance to be the most effective and to create the least number of windows of opportunity for your opponents to either slow down your momentum or to increase their own momentum, to a point where the game becomes too one-sided for you to succeed. To pick something that is not meta in a game can, and most oftentimes does, lead to teammates believing that you are not knowledgeable in the way the game is played under normal circumstances, and with this information alone, sometimes you're written off as inexperienced or flat out as a troll, referring to intentionally badgering allies passively aggressively by picking something they may not agree with. The other thing to note about the metagame is that it is almost like a living, breathing being that is constantly evolving and changing to fit what is currently considered to be strong or viable. This information gets organized by players much more experienced than myself via statistics revolving around strength, popularity, counterplay, and a myriad of other factors. How do you know what champions are strong in the current meta? Websites such as nerfplease.com have tier lists compiling champions into levels of viability based on what typically happens in the lane they usually play in, giving you a basic outline of what is considered strong currently, or simply what is popular and what works. While other websites such as champion.gg lay out real-time detailed statistics based around the matches that those playable champions have participated in, giving you insight as to how each champion performs in different divisions of the ranked system, and which champions they fare well or poorly against. So to recap, the meta is a set of loose guidelines to playing the game that the player base has created that evolves with strategy, and not the outlined rule set by the creators, such as factors including the base statistics of characters or the layout of the game board or map that you play on. The players take these pieces of information given by the creators to create an environment that gives them an overall advantage through personal and team gameplay. As far as this video goes, though, I think I've covered everything that I need to. Thanks for listening. Next time we'll delve deeper into what makes a pick meta and the nature of the off-meta pick. If you enjoyed my video, give it a like and subscribe to my channel. The more I receive, the more I'll feel compelled to create new videos. If you disagree with me or have something to add to what I shared today, or simply want to see content of a certain nature, leave a comment below and let me know what you're thinking. If you want to play a game, add me as a friend. My in-game name is Muskoken. Thanks for watching, and go get on the Rift.